Hi everyone, Tori here with another Project Life process video called Loving. This is going to be a small one, but I think it's a fun one, so I wanted to share it. I'm using two sets of photos. I'm using photos of my friends who came over to visit and also photos of my sister and I and my mom and dad. So I wanted to create just an insert because I didn't have a ton of photos that fit, so I just wanted to create a little one. So what I did was I grabbed a Design A Becky Higgins Project Life divided page protector and I cut it down. Don't worry, it doesn't ruin it, it's fine. So I cut along this side and I created a small insert that just has two 3x4 slots and one 4x6 slot, which is perfect since I only have two photos to go on each side, and that way I can include some journaling cards or title cards or something, but also have space for just those photos, and then I'm not trying to fill in a whole page protector when it's not necessary. So I grabbed my Project Life cards from this month from my Studio Calico Cirque kit and my add-ons. So I'm using this fun springy card for my journaling at the bottom there, and that one comes from the Life Love Paper spring card and sticker set, which is still available, so I'll link it up below if you're interested. I got it at Studio Calico and I love the cards that are in there. So I want to keep this spread sort of simple on this insert just because there's not a lot of spaces, but I guess it's simple for me, not for everyone. So I am also going to try to tie these two pages together. And I thought what would be fun to tie the two sides of this insert together would be this camera that I stamped using a Studio Calico add-on stamp from a few months ago. And I'm coloring it in using my Copic markers and doing some highlighting. I'm using BG15 and BG18, which I showed you there a minute ago. I don't really want to explain what I'm doing here because I am so not an expert at Copic coloring at all. So I don't want to give anyone some false information. But anyways, I'm just coloring it in using those two colors and having fun doing it. And I'm not really trying to be exact about staying in the lines because I know that I'm going to cut this out. So it's okay if it doesn't perfectly line up. Now I'm using BG23 to color in the middle of the camera. And I'm also using a green one, which I forgot to show. So, oops, sorry, can't remember what it is. I don't really have a lot of Copic markers, but I love them. They're so much fun to play with. And by a lot, I mean I have like maybe 10, maybe less than that. But I really love stamping images and coloring them in. It's really fun to me. So if I'm ever bored and want to be creative but don't have a specific project I want to work on, I'll just stamp a bunch of images and color them in using my Copic markers. So I've put in those two top pictures because I think I'm going to keep those pretty simple. And now I'm just going to embellish that bottom card and keep it pretty simple by putting that camera on there and then some other embellishments. And while I'm doing that, I'll just tell you about the photos. This is a picture of my family friends, Bonnie and Jim, and they're adorable, precious little baby boy. He is so cute. He's so chubby. And they came to visit us, so I just snapped a couple photos of them together, and I just wanted to put them in my December spread, but I just didn't have a ton of photos of them visiting, so that's why it ended up on an insert here. So I'm using this like plasticky tag or banner tag with a heart on it, and that came from this month's Cirque Project Life kit from Studio Calico, and I'm going to glue that on the top of the photo. And I also grabbed some chipboard hearts in gold, and those also came from the Project Life kit, and I'm going to use two of them on that bottom card there, which sort of draw the hearts around the page, like you have the heart on that top picture of the baby, and then you have two hearts on the title or the journaling card as well. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to add some of those sentiment strips that are amazing. They came from this month's scrapbooking kit, and they have all these really adorable phrases on them. and I just am loving using them so much. I wish I could just buy another set of just the sentiment strips. They're so cute to me. So I'm going to use 2 of them on that photo at the top there. One of them says dude, and the other one says hey there, good looking, which I thought was just sort of funny because it's just a baby, but it's so cute. And I don't know who else I would put that on. So I'm going to stick those down with some double-sided sticky tape. I'm going to tuck one under the banner at the top and then one at the bottom over top of his blanket, that sort of white space there. And I just trimmed them down to make them fit. And when I was done with that, I stuck it in. And now I'm going to just add my journaling, which I didn't have a lot to say. I just wanted to put who was in the photo. So I just said, Bonnie, German baby, come for a visit. And that's it. And I'm going to add this date stamp. And I'm using my Dear Lizzie roller date stamp. And it just says all together December 2013. Now, I actually don't remember what day these photos were taken. So I just covered up the numbers. And so it just says all together December 2013. And now it's time for me to work on the second page. So I have 2 photos for this spread. A photo of my sister and I making funny faces, and a photo of my mom and dad hugging at dinner. And I'm going to use those 2 photos, but I'm also going to use some cards from this month's Cirque kit. So I struggled for a little while to decide which ones to use, because I wanted to use the perfect ones, as usual. And I decided to also use a piece from the paper pad this month. This is sort of from the card kit. And I'm going to cut that down to 4x6, and that will be on that bottom photo there. And I wanted the gradient, so I sort of cut a little bit off the top and a little bit off the bottom. And I really like how that photo looks, or that card looks in that space and with the photos. I wanted to round the corners because I love rounded corners. So on that top photo, my sister and I just rounded the bottom 2 corners. And on the photo of my mom and dad, I rounded all 4 of the corners along with the card. And I decided that that card looked sort of boring by itself, so I wanted to layer another one. So I grabbed that loving card, and I'm going to put that in the middle of the card and then layer the photo on top. And now I'm just looking for another card, and I pull out this Year Perfect one, and I look to see if there's anything else I want to use, but I really love that Year Perfect one. And I'm going to add the camera to this side of the insert as well, just like I had used on the other side. And I'm just trying to decide which Copic markers to use. And I just held them up for you there, but I'll just say them. I'm using R29, R20, and R32. And it's sort of funny, but the way I decided to color code this insert was I knew that I wanted to use like the bluish green colors on the front and the pinkish red colors on the back, just because those are the Copic markers that I had. And I really wanted to include Copic colored cameras on this insert. And I'm just coloring that in now. I sped it up a lot just because I didn't think you'd want to sit there and watch me color it or cut it out. Sorry, I'm off the screen right now, but all I'm doing is just cutting out that shape. And I'm using my precision scissors, and I'm deciding where to put it. I decided to use it on that top right-hand card where it says You're Perfect, just to break it up a little bit. And now I'm going to mat down that photo of my sister and I with the funny faces, and I decided that it needed a mat underneath it, so I'm using some of this vellum paper pad that was the subscriber special for this month at Studio Calico. So unfortunately it's not available anymore, but you could use any type of colored vellum for this, and I love the way that it just sort of adds a little trim around the photo. And I also decided to use that little 4x4 square, which already had something cut out, to also mat the photo on it as well, just to tie that color across the page. And while I'm doing that, I just wanted to say thank you everyone for subscribing and liking and commenting. Your comments are so sweet and helpful and funny, and you guys are just amazing. So thank you so much. You make this so worth it and so much fun to me to be able to do this. I just really appreciate you all. It means a lot to me that you take time to watch me make a video and listen to me. Well, actually, I don't know if you're listening. You may just be muting me. which is okay too, because if you're doing that, then you wouldn't even know that I'm saying this, but whatever. Back to the page. I am really enjoying this process. So what I decided to do was that photo of my mom and dad also needed a mat under it. Well, I guess it didn't need it, but I wanted to add a mat. So I used some of this heart pattern paper that came from the card kit, and I just put it around the photo and trimmed it out with my scissors. And now I'm just going to start adhering some of the things, like the photo of my sister and I, the photo of my mom and dad and that card, as well as the camera. And when I'm done that, I'll start embellishing. So I just want to tell you a little bit about the photos. Again, these are really just 2 random photos that I had from the month of December, and I wanted to just include them somehow, but they didn't really warrant like a full page or even a full Project Life insert. So I'm just putting them on this little tiny insert here. And that way I can include those fun everyday moments in a fun way, but it doesn't take up a lot of space. And I'm going to use my roller date stamp again. I'm using the one from Dear Lizzie, and these photos were taken on December 6th, 2013, so I'm just stamping those. And if you're wondering, yes, it is 2013 that these photos were taken. I scrap behind. I'm usually about a year behind in scrapbooking, and I don't even mind. I don't even call it catch-up. I just scrap the photos that I love. If I have a photo from this year that I really want to use, I use it. Otherwise, I just scrap photos that I have and enjoy using, and I don't know, I don't believe in ketchup. That's funny. I believe in ketchup. I just don't believe in ketchup in scrapbooking. Like, I think ketchup should be for eggs and grilled cheese sandwiches. Grilled cheese sandwiches. But not for scrapbooking. As one wise scrapbooker once said to me, ketchup is for eggs, it's not for scrapbooking. So I don't know. I don't want to put any pressure on myself. If I put pressure on myself to be caught up, I won't enjoy it. So I just do what I love, and that's scrapbooking photos that are memories, and who cares if they're from a year ago or not. But I guess everybody has their own way of doing things. Anyways, I'll just get back to the page here. I used that black trim that came from the card kit, and I put it along the line between the white space and the gray space on that upper card. And then I also had some of it left, and I wanted to tie it into that bottom card, so I used it along the top of the card. And I just love that pretty trim. It's so pretty. And it's self-adhesive, so you just pull off the back and easy stick down. And now I'm grabbing another favorite thing that came from the Studio Calico scrapbook kit, and it's these sentiments, and they have such adorable phrases on them, and some of them just make me so happy. For example, on that top photo of my sister and I, it says, "I love your stupid face," which is funny because we're making stupid faces. And, well, it's funny to me. I don't know if it's funny to everyone, but to me it is. And on the bottom one of my mom and dad, it says, "You make my heart happy," which I thought was really cute. Because it does. It makes my heart happy to see my parents in love with each other. They've been married for almost 30 years. It's going to be 30 years this April, so whoop whoop. Yay, mom and dad. And I just think we should celebrate that. So I just stuck both of those sentiments down with some double-sided sticky tape. And if you're wondering, I'm using Express It double-sided tape by Copic. And you can buy that at Simon Says Stamp, or maybe at your local scrapbooking store, which is where I got this one. And now I'm just looking for some final embellishments to just add to the page. And again, I'm trying to go simple, although simple for me is never simple. So I grabbed these chipboard hearts, and these chipboard hearts came from, I think, the card kit or the scrapbook kit this month. It's from the scrapbook kit, sorry. I'll link it up below if you're interested. And I'm going to use 2 of them, one on the top photo of my sister and I, and one on the photo of my mom and dad. And this is actually tying the front page of this insert into this page as well. The front page had those gold hearts, which were similar, and then the back has pink. So even though they're not the exact same thing, they sort of bring continuity to the insert. And then I'm just going to grab one of these little pink hearts from the flying trapeze add-on this month and just put it in the middle of the camera. I think it's so cute to have something in that middle circle of the camera. And now I'm using my Uniball white gel pen just to add some final touches. I'm drawing arrows from Loving down to my parents. I'm also going to just add some fun doodling on the card of my sister and I, some stitch lines around our photo, and then some outlining on the top things. And you can't really see it that well on the camera, but in person it looks fun. And I'll try to hold up the card later so you can see it. I just like adding hand doodling sometimes. I think it makes it look unique and makes it look like my own. And then I'm also outlining that heart enamel dot because it didn't pop out that much. And that's it. I think that's everything that I did to this insert. I'm going to put the cards in and show you in just a moment, but while I'm doing that, just wanted to say thanks everyone so much for being so awesome, for liking, subscribing, and commenting. If you want to see anything, or if you want me to slow things down or speed things up or explain something, feel free to leave me a comment, and I try to respond to all of them. If I don't right away, I'll get to eventually. Anyways, thanks everyone for joining me. I hope you have a lovely day. Bye!